This is All He Covets, a Vivian Fox Suspense Thriller, Book 3, written by Ella Swift, read by Olivia. Prologue. Nina Caldwell paced the expanse of her penthouse, her heels clicking on the marble floor like strange music. Evening sun spilled in through the large windows, casting elongated shadows across the den. Behind Nina, a small group of caterers moved quietly along the back wall. They murmured to one another but remained mostly silent. Nina was a cocktail of emotions as she walked back and forth, from the den to the kitchen, from the kitchen to the foyer, then back into the den. Once in the den, she would stop walking for a moment and look at the wall. Her gaze was fixated on the painting that hung with quiet dignity on the far wall, a place that had remained empty for a very long time, because she'd known this painting would eventually occupy the space. It was an arresting piece, mostly muted colors swirling together in a dance of light and shadow, a masterpiece that had captured her heart as a child. The hum of activity behind her faded into insignificance. None of it mattered next to this work of art that had been a permanent fixture in her memory for most of her life. Nina's breath hitched as she drew closer to the artwork. She could hardly believe it was now in her home. It was almost surreal. Her eyes traced the lines and curves she had memorized long ago during those treasured trips to Paris with her mother. They would stand before it in the museum, hand in hand, lost in its beauty. Now, years later, the painting was hers, hanging in her own home. But the joy of the moment was undercut by a well of emotion that threatened to spill over. Her mother would be weeping with joy right now. Sadly, she passed away 2 years ago, from breast cancer. But as Nina stared at the painting, she could nearly feel her mother there with her. It was an odd feeling, one that brought both joy and pain in equal measure. "Ms. Caldwell?" a voice called from behind her. Nina didn't turn, couldn't tear her eyes away from the painting or the memory of her mother. "Yes." Her voice was barely a whisper, carried away by the vastness of the room, a large room in a large apartment that she had no one to share with. "We've finished setting up the food," the caterer said. There was a note of respect in his tone for the woman who had made a fortune before most people figured out any part of their lives. Nina Caldwell had made her first million at 28, and then her first 10 million at 30. "Thank you," Nina said. "Is there anything else you need?" He tried again, a bit louder this time. "It's not a lot of food for a party." Nina finally turned, offering a smile. "It's not really a party, just a few friends coming."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?